2 pounds of sugar, 5 bags of chocolate chips, a dozen eggs, 10 cups of milk. Mix and roll into chocolate chip cookies. Heat the oven to 500 degrees and bake for 3 minutes. This is the recipe that my 5-year-old son gave me to make chocolate chip cookies. I love to bake and cook with my family, especially my children. I think it is so important for children to be allowed in the kitchen and to be allowed to participate in everyday chores because it shows them a greater responsibility. It gives them the opportunity to develop the skills that they need so that they can have fulfilling lives as adults. I'll be talking about how letting children help with menial everyday tasks will help them develop the skills that they will utilize in their everyday lives. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, children who do chores may exhibit higher self-esteem, be more responsible, be better equipped to deal with frustration, adversity, and delayed gratification. These skills can lead to greater success in school, work, and relationships. Chores are something that nobody likes doing, myself included. They're things that everybody has to do, but nobody gets any fun or enjoyment out of them. I remember growing up, I hated every Saturday morning because I'd wake up and there would be a chore list on the fridge for me and my brothers to complete during the day. It would include everything from making my bed to cleaning the bathroom to making dinner for my family, and I didn't like it. But I'm so glad, looking back now, I'm so glad that my mom made me do those things because I was able to develop those skills to keep my own house clean, to cook meals for my children and my husband, and I'm able to pass those skills on to my children so that they can also have fulfilling lives as adults. Something with 3 young children that I have learned that has helped me is this chore chart that I found. There are multiple chores for them to do, and it has words, but it also has pictures. Now, my kids are 5, 3, and 1, and they're very small, as you can see. So they don't know how to read yet, so these pictures really help them to understand what they need to do every day. And my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old love to come out in the morning and stand in the hallway, point to each chore and say what it is, and then they'll go and do it. These chores are making bed, taking a bath, combing your hair, brushing your teeth, picking up your toys, and being happy. So they're very simple chores, age-appropriate chores for a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 5-year-old to do, except for maybe making the bed. But there are ways that you can edit these chores and help the children to still participate even if they're too young to actually make a bed or to brush their teeth on their own. For example, when we make beds, my kids hand me their blankets, I fold it, and then they put it back on their beds. Or they set up their pillows and they put the stuffed animals that they sleep with on their pillows so that the bed looks nice and neat, and they did their chore for the day. I think that children can be taught to clean up as young as 1-year-old. We have my daughter pick up her toys and help pick up everything around the living room every night before bed, and she's able to do that. According to the article from the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, children can start doing chores around the house as young as 2 years old. They suggest that parents be clear and consistent when setting the chores for the children. When setting up the list for the children, these chores should be small, things that they can do every day. My rule of thumb is however old they are is however many chores they get. So my 5-year-old gets 5 chores, my 3-year-old gets 3 chores, and my 1-year-old gets 1 chore. And that way they're not overwhelmed by all these things that they have to do, and they're able to look at it and say, I can do this. With small children, a reward system is something that is great to have in place. So, as we saw in the chore chart, they're able to mark off the days that they did these chores. For example, if they make their bed every day of the week, then they're able to get a reward. Usually they choose candy or whatever they want to choose, but it's able to let them see that having this responsibility, you can get a reward at the end. It also helps them to see the fun in it. I know a lot of people are like me, and they love to blast their music as they clean. Something that helps me with my children is to turn on their favorite song at night when we're cleaning up the toys. They're able to dance and have a good time, and they're able to still put all the toys away. And it's something more than just teaching them to clean up after themselves. It's giving them those memories of their parents enjoying that time with them. Now, cleaning isn't everything. It's the no fun part that nobody likes to do. So we're going to talk about being in the kitchen. A couple of years ago, I decided that I wanted to get my children a toy kitchen, a play kitchen where they could bake and cook and do whatever they wanted, pretending that they were in their own kitchen cooking. And after a couple of days, I found a perfect one. And it's big enough, it has a stove that makes a noise when you put stuff on it. And with it came this mountain of toy food and dishes. And they love this thing. They will play for hours and hours every day cooking and cleaning. And I love watching it because they're able to mimic what I do in the kitchen. Not only do they cook in their little kitchen, they also help us cook in our functional kitchen for the house. As I mentioned in the beginning, my son gave me the recipe for the chocolate chip cookies. He loves to make those. Every holiday season, we make cookies for all of our neighbors, and he loves to participate in that. One of the things that he has learned from being able to bake and cook with me is he learned how to count. When we make stuff, I'll tell him the recipe. I'll say we need this many cups of flour or whatever the measurement is, and he's able to count with me as I put the stuff into the mixer. He has learned to count. He's learned to understand what certain things do in the kitchen. It's more than just counting. It's more than just math. It's also science. In fact, one of the things mentioned in an article from the website, The Growing Room, is science counting, fractions, weighing, sequencing, measuring, language, fine motor skills, reading, problem solving, and social engagement are all being practiced during those magical moments in the kitchen. So cooking isn't the only thing they're learning. They're learning all sorts of skills that will help them later in life. Getting the kids in the kitchen as early as you can in life will help them benefit from before they even start school. Learning those fine motor skills will help them as they learn to read, write, use scissors. It's important that they start doing this at a very early age. So, 3 tablespoons of chocolate syrup, 9 cups of sugar on a plate, 5 eggs, 7 chocolate chip cookies. Bake at 1, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 degrees for forever minutes is another chocolate chip cookie recipe that was provided to me by my 4-year-old nephew. Each child, both my 4-year-old nephew and my 5-year-old son, were able to give us real numbers, except for that oven degree measurement. They were able to give us real numbers and real measurements that people use every day in cooking, and I think that just shows the amount of things that they can learn in the kitchen as they help us cook. They're able to develop those skills and live a fulfilling life. I hope that each of us can set our worries of mess aside and allow those children into those everyday activities and into the kitchen to help us. We can shape their future in our own kitchen.